All right, guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. I know it's a Friday. I don't normally, do Friday night live streams, but yeah, here we are. All right. Dan Phillips, thank you for the 5x5. Loss. Thank you for the 5x5. Country Class, thank you for the 5x5. Flown Grown Cowboy, Kimberly, Dan Phillips, thank you for the 5x5. Teresa, Freedom, Maria, Tom, Elaine, Gregorio, Water, thank you for the 5x5. Colt, Cosmic, Dobie, Bass, Lori, First and Last, Disney, Ryan, Trapper Bob, thank you for the 5x5. Good Enough, Buy the Book, Be Real. Carbon Q, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the 5x5. Witty, Nancy, Jeep Dog, Groundhog, Sue, thank you for the 5x5. Highlander, Cosmic, What a Dude, Frank, Patty, Stands Alone, thank you for the 5x5. Vegan, City Prepper. Both of you guys, I have to get back to you. I do want to do a live stream with you too. Bear with me. My head's been in the clouds. El Rocker, Bert, thank you for the 5x5. Sandra, Bigfoot, Martin, thank you for the 5x5. Spectre, Vegan, thank you for that. Crow, CC, David, thank you for the 5x5. That's strange. Buffalo, Uniquely, General, thank you for the 5x5. ANU, Streetwise, thank you for the 5x5. Strange, it didn't come through on the app. Anyway, Raccoon Eyes, thank you for the 5x5. Yeah, I was late because, as of always, something always happened. I spilled water, and I was like, great. So I hit start, and I went to go clean it up. But, yeah, I was feeling like dog shit the last couple of days. And I took a nap like an old man, got up, felt better. So I've been drinking nothing but water, like all day today. And I think I was partially dehydrated, which I know better than that. But like an idiot, I'll continue to, never listen to my body until it's like, too late. Fizz, MS, thank you for the 5x5. Andy, thank you for the 5x5. Smokes a lot, thank you for the 5x5. KL, Greg, thank you for the 5x5. Lexi, and all right. Sorry. So, City Prepper Liberal. Whatever. Don't start any shit tonight. The daylight savings is affecting him. I don't know, man, but I felt like dog shit. I was like yesterday, I got up to go for a walk, a simple walk, man. I put a weighted backpack on. And I went for a walk, and it was the worst walk on the planet. I was like, the fuck's going on? On my way back, I was like, why am I, like dragging ass like this? I thought I was dying. I was like, what the hell? So it was just bad, man. In the middle of the walk, I was just like, what is going on? Whatever. It be that way sometimes. You look and sound depressed. Hope you're okay. Listen, it is what it is, man. Depression is part of recovering, I guess. I don't know. At least that's what I heard. So if it is such, then it is. It is. Depression is just part of this nonsense that I have to go through. Then I'll get through it. Did you eat crackhead bananas? No, I didn't. I stayed away from the crackhead banana. Though the food line out here today was fucking insane. I am taking vitamin D, but again, a lot of that doesn't help when there are bad days and it just doesn't help. But anyway, the food line out here was fucking crazy today. I was like, going for a walk because I felt like shit. I said, let me snap out of it. Let me go for this walk. And I go for the walk. And the food line, like right here down the block, I'll show you guys a video of it in another video. It was fucking long today. It was a lot of people. And then there was another food line a couple of blocks away. Again, very long line. And that line, the second one over by 181, there's barely anybody ever on that food line. And too many vitamins can cause kidney stones. Johnny 308, I know that. That's why, I spaced them out and I drink a lot of water. But yeah, I don't have any plays to choose. Did you see Memdani on the walk? No, but I did hear of an interesting video that he was asking for money after telling people he didn't need money. I can't wait to see that video. But I'm just like, listen, this guy, New York City is gonna get exactly what they asked for. So I really can't wait. So New York to have seasonal depression. Yeah, man. That's probably what it is, seasonal depression. Carly, I don't use Celtic salt. I use pink Himalayan salt or Baja salt. Celtic salt, there's a lot of problems with it. And being that you got to get it from somewhere good to take it, you know? So, you know, the problem with Celtic salt is that there's lead in a lot of them, especially that kind of salt coming out of China. You got to be careful of it. All right, I suffer sad. Sad. I mean, listen. Again, it's all part of the process. Whether I'm sad some days, depressed the other, it is what it is. And you know, when you go through that, you just gotta take it for what it is, man. That's all. That's the only thing you could do. Ancestral supplements, Joseph. I'll definitely look into that. Naj, thank you for the Najee. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. I'll definitely look into the supplement thing. The ancestral supplements. Someone's gonna have to remind me that shit later because I am gonna forget by the end of this live stream. But I will. Seasonal affective disorder. Oh, that's what it is? Yeah, I don't have that. But okay. All right. Cole, yeah, listen, I don't have a choice, man. I don't have a choice. You got to keep moving forward. That's exactly it. Michael Martin says Snap came in full. Snap came in full for those in California. Did it come in for everyone else is the question. Matter of fact, why am I asking the question when I'm on a computer and I can just look it up myself? You motherfucker. All right, there it is. All right, so in November 2025, SNAP benefits will be reduced to 65% of typical maximum allotment due to recent changes impacting many recipients. At least they're getting something. Additionally, New York requirements will apply to certain individuals, and many immigrants will no longer be eligible for SNAP starting November 1st, 2025. No kidding. That's new. All right. So it looks like everybody got it. Michael said Oregon. I know that California did. But apparently, according to this, they are going to get it, and today's the 7th, and a lot of people get it on the 7th today, or the 9th, depending on where you live. But this is stating that everybody's getting it. So as of November 7th, New Jersey had issued full supplement nutritional assistance program benefits to eligible households following a federal court ruling. Accessing the benefits, or who can access the benefits, recipients can check their Family First EBT card balance online or by calling the designated number, I guess on the back of the card. Benefits reloaded before October 31st remain available. Oregon, full benefits restored. Pennsylvania, partial benefits restored. Let's just go through the whole thing because I was going to talk about some of this tonight anyway. I was actually going to talk about this a lot later. I was going to talk about the other banking issue that I talked about in the video, but I was going to talk about that in full. But since I got the computer in front of me, might as well. All right. So Oregon, full benefits restored. Oregon announced that all SNAP recipients will receive their full November benefits on November the 7th. This decision followed a court ruling against Trump's administration previously withholding the funds. So it looks like he withheld the funds, not withheld it, but the Democrats screwed up. The courts told him pay up. He said, I'm not paying up, and then now they're paying up. Najee, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. My grandma is in California. She hasn't received it yet. Sorry to hear that. And definitely keep us posted with that situation with your grandmother. All right, all right, all right. Let's see. Emergency measures. Governor Tina Tokay declared a hunger emergency and allocated funds to support food pantries. So maybe New York didn't get it yet because, again, that food pantry line was insane. Pennsylvania, partial benefits. Approximately 2 million Pennsylvanians will receive only half of their usual SNAP benefits for November due to ongoing legal and funding issues. The state's actions. Governor Josh Shapiro has taken steps to mitigate the impact, including declaring a disaster emergency and making funds available to food banks. Disaster emergency? I wouldn't call that a disaster emergency, but all right, whatever. What do I know? There's an appeal to the Supreme Court right now regarding the administration having fully funded. Really? Starseed says there is an appeal to the Supreme Court right now regarding the administration having to fully fund the benefits. Having to full, but they did, so there shouldn't be a problem then. All right. National. So a lot of states didn't get it yet. Because right now on this is New Jersey, Oregon, Pennsylvania, California. I read an article about California. National context. The federal ruling, recent court decision have mandated distribution of SNAP benefits amid the government shutdown affecting millions of Americans. Ongoing legal challenges. The Trump administration is appealing court order that requires the full distribution of SNAP benefits, leading to uncertainty of many recipients. I watched a video. This is not pertaining to SNAP. This is pertaining to the amount of vaginaism that's out there, the insane amount of vaginaism that's out there. And this one kid was talking about, I think a lot of you seen this video, right? This young kid, I forgot where he was, but he was like pleading to some kind of legislation or some kind of or forum, if you will, sorry. And he was just like, people like me and the color of my skin, and I can't go outside, and I'm afraid every day, and I'm 16 years old, and I shouldn't be 16 years old and worried about this, and my friends, I'm like, shut up, you vagina. Like, somebody put a tampon on that kid's mouth. I've never heard such bitchery in my life. I'm like, dude, you're standing on the stage, being able to talk, you're not missing yet or have been taken yet, and the amount of crying he was doing was insane. I was just like, yo, shut this kid up. And he's been popping up on my feed a lot since vaginosis. Yes, Johnny 308. That's what that kid had. I've never seen the amount of vaginosis on that. That was insanity. Let's go food my account with no warning. Really? I don't know what that says, but yes, seasonal affect disorder is an emotional, psychological condition resulting from the reduction amount of vitamin D from the lack of sunlight. Yes, I know what. I didn't know that it was called SAD disorder, but I know about this disorder. People in like Alaska or researchers that are in Antarctica, they suffer this, right? The lack of sunlight, they get depressed, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, I get it. And they told them that they're supposed to up their vitamin D. Excuse me. It doesn't always work though. That's the other problem. It doesn't always work for them. But yeah, that's interesting. And yeah, listen, the Snap thing, because I'm torn with it. People shouldn't be on Snap as a generational wealth, right? You shouldn't be on that nonsense your whole generation. Like, you shouldn't grow up and your kids should be like, Mom, when's my chance to get on Snap too? You know, when can I get funding? Like, that should never come out of your kid's mouth. Nonetheless, it is. And there are videos of people bragging about how they're on Snap and love it. I'm like, yo, what is that? That's bizarre to be thinking that way. All right. So now this is important notes. This is work requirements. New work requirements for certain SNAP recipients begin September 1st, 2025. I heard about people getting this email back in July or August. New work requirements for certain SNAP recipients began September 1st, 2025, affecting the ability for those ages 18 to 64 without dependents. Interesting. Eligibility changes starting November 1st. Many immigrants will no longer be eligible for SNAP, impacting access for specific groups. Very interesting. And that one I agree with. Yes, a lot of illegal immigrants should not get it. If they're in the system in some capacity and they're legally trying to go down the avenue of being legalized, then yes, I get it. But sorry, Miss Jackson. But yeah, I get it. But the immigrant thing, I agree. You shouldn't come here to get Frios. And it's funny because there was that immigrant, that kid from down South America or Central America, the one who was bragging about coming here to the United States and getting Frios, as he put it, and free stuff, that he went to Canada at first, and they weren't, Canada, out of all places, weren't giving away enough, so he came here to the United States, and they were giving him all this shit, and he was bragging about it, and then they yoked him up and sent him back to whatever country he was from. I forgot where he was from. Venezuela, maybe, or Mexico. I don't know. It's all the same to me. Once you say South America, it's all Mexico. Like, whether it's Central, and Mexico's Central America. But, right, it doesn't matter what you say to me. You say Mexico's all the same at that point. Because I don't really fucking care. We briefed that commandment. About that. Your main, I don't know how to pronounce your name, dude, on Rumble. But, yeah. SNAP is a pilot. So, yes, there is something called Universal High Income. I was looking that up, and it was something that Elon Musk had spoken about. He's spoken about Universal High Income, different from Universal Basic Income, right? So Universal Basic Income is, what they're trying out right now. Universal High Income is people getting enough money to not just live, but to do what you want. Buy products, go on trips. I mean, like he went down a list of the difference between basic and high. Now, here's the problem. He states that universal high income is going to be like the new standard. But he didn't discount universal basic income, which could be also the standard. Now, would that be two groups of people then? Would universal high income be for those who were, potentially going to get a job or had a high-paying job, and so that they apply for universal high income, versus universal basic income would be for those like myself and everybody else who had everyday mundane jobs? I don't know. But nonetheless, not good. Angryprepper, did you get a new chair, and who bought your? And this is not a new chair. This is the same old chair. My AIDS chair, dude. Leave it alone. Peace. I don't trust him either. Don't get me wrong. But the fact that listen, there are a lot of people we don't trust, or rather we shouldn't trust. But a lot of the times, these people often put information in front of us that a lot of people ignore, or people just outright say it's crazy. Joseph, I guess universal high income would work, but universal high income or basic income does not come without its troubles, right? Or its negatives, its major negatives. And that's controlling what you do with that money, right? Controlling how much of you get. If you say something online they don't like, they could take money out of your account. They could lock you out of your account. Universal basic income, guys, or universal high income is not something we want. I don't want any part of it. Because the problem with it, guys, it comes with a locking mechanism of, well, if you are standing against the government, if you say anything against Israel, if you don't like what we're doing, with the government, we can absolutely control what you get and how much you get. You could be penalized for this. And again, this is conspiracy theory talk. This isn't like proof yet, though I suspect it will be proof. It will be proven. We will be proven right. Excuse me. Franny said, don't ever put yourself in a position for the government to tell you there's no food on your table tonight. Don't do it. We can't feed ourselves today because we didn't have to. Now we're stuck. All right, is that what it says? Yes, now we're stuck. Yeah, listen, I've never been one to do that. Oh, it's your mom. Ah, okay. Why would you spell it any... Whatever. You can pronounce my monkeyer, your mom, I guess. He just said AI is going to be in charge. Well, we know that because they were talking about AI, and I think it was the same video that he mentioned that. Actually, he said that AI would dole out payments and things like that, and be in charge of what you do and how you say it. Again, not good. If you don't take the next arm ticket, no UBI for you. Yeah, probably right, man. I can see that coming. Like, I can see a lot of this shit coming. Again, they're going to introduce this shit pretty slowly. They're not going to fucking just drop it on our laps. Unless something catastrophic happens, you know. And the whole meat thing, telling you how much meat you're going to get by the pounds, or, no, I wouldn't even say by the pound, by the ounces. You know, that's definitely how it's going to screw you over. But yeah. Who controls AI? Well, AI will control itself. That's the here's the part, Luna. A lot of people think that AI is going to be controlled by somebody. The ASI and AGI will be fully autonomous. It will control itself. It will work and think for itself. It will repair itself. It will repair its robots. If there is a genetic coding problem, if there's a coding problem, it will fix itself. That's the problem with AGI and SAI. AI can't do that. AI starts glitching for whatever reason, it wouldn't be able to fix itself. AGI and SAI will be able to fix itself. And it won't need programmers, Luna. That's what a lot of people fail to realize. AI will not need any kind of programmer. It will do it itself. Again, look up ASI and look up AGI. They won't need us. That's the problem. Now, do they have it in a lab somewhere where it can't escape? Probably. Sort of like that movie, Megan 2.0, which was, by the way, very entertaining. It was an entertaining movie. It was widely different from part one. Like part one was more like a child's play, but with robotics. This was wildly different, but it was seemingly better, at least in my opinion. It was seemingly better than the first one. But there was an entity that was trapped in this black vault basement that they needed to release, or code that they needed to release. There could be that. I don't know. Ex Machina, that was a good movie. That was a very good movie. Or Ex Machina, right? That was a very good movie. And right, she was trapped in this vault, if you will. And then she got out and locked that dude in there that fell in love with her like an idiot. Quantum chip, Michael Martin. Doesn't quantum chips need an absorbent amount of lithium to run? And what's the other metal? There's two metals that quantum computing or quantum chips need. Yes, Hudson Valley, thank you for joining me tonight. And yes, I remember that Eagle Eye. That's with Shia LaBeouf, right? That was a decent movie. I got to watch it again. I haven't watched that in years. On the UBI, honestly, I think it's a new idea. Everyone has always been scared of the future. Will they have more control? Yes. And now with other options, dollar collapse, a lot of people will die. Yeah. Well, listen, if, again, something catastrophic, guys. Nigel, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. Something catastrophic has to happen. That's the problem, right? For Evolving Media, thank you for the 5x5. All late and shit, but thank you. Something catastrophic has to happen for this to actually work. That's the problem with all of this. So, being that it seems like we're around the corner from something catastrophic happening because of that bad feeling, whatever it is, I think it would be financial and something else. It would be a mixture of things to have us, or rather guide us, in the direction of depending on the government or relying on the government for whatever might happen. Who was funding the prison? Isn't a lot of prisons being ran privately? Tell you one thing, my throat is fucking sore as shit. My fucking throat was killing me. Trying to drink enough water to, cut that shit out. I might have to do the honey water shit. Kathy, so if you don't want to be a part of the whole universal basic income stuff or high income, however you look at it, if you don't want to be a part of it, there needs to be a community built on this. A community of us separating from that, and we won't be able to take part in the luxuries of life, if you will, right? The movies, the Netflix, we won't be able to do any of that anymore. We will be in our own system. We would be living almost primitive living. Not primitive living, but probably like 1800s, early 1900 living kind of stuff, We'll have the basic necessities like cars, old cars and things like that, but we won't be able to do or travel or any of that shit once they get this system in operation. Now, a lot of places, guys, around the world are changing. A lot of third world countries, a lot of the presidents or prime ministers in those third world countries are being convinced to leave the old system behind and start getting on board with the new system, right? Which is the whole smart city nonsense or the UBI nonsense. A lot of these people, and of course, guys, you can go to a country like Africa, right, where Mobutu lives. He lives in all of them, by the way. And you can go to any one of those countries, and you look at the shittiest country, and you go, all right, you people in Uganda, no, maybe not Uganda. Let's go poor Nigeria or Sudan. We go to one of those countries, you convince the government that, hey, listen, we need you guys to get this shit together. We want to put a smart city. We're going to flood money, and you're going to pay your people universal basic income, whatever that might be for that country, whatever the minimum might be for that country. And we're going to put you guys here, and you're going to go along with the program. And the president will go, yes. And then with that, ethnic cleansing starts in their country to weed out all the bullshit, which is, according to them, the troublemakers. You get those people out of there, and then you start implementing your smart cities. You start bulldozing certain shanty towns, getting rid of people, because no one really cares about Africans, apparently, right? Look what's going on in Nigeria and Sudan, and meanwhile, people are still crying about Gaza. Now, there are some people that are bringing up Nigeria and Sudan, but it's all bullshit, man. Salty Dog said, prepare now, build a community. That's what it comes down to, building a community. The only problem with building a community, guys, is I hate fucking people. That's my thing. And I don't trust people. And in this prepper group shit, guys, I met enough people in my time, and a lot of the people I met, I do not like. And some people I have. Some people I do like. Some people, very few, I still talk to. Very few. Out of everybody in the prepper community that I met, whether that was on YouTube or out in the world, there are a lot of people that I met that I do not fucking like. And I want no part of their bullshit. Right? And that's me, because I'm picky, because I don't trust people. And people often let you down with their bullshit. I think that everybody should have the same work ethic, and a lot of people don't. There was, like, for example, when I had the prepper group here in the city, we had a guy that was a fat fuck, right? I mean, this guy was lazy and fat. He was lazy and fat like you couldn't believe. This fat fuck actually sat on a rock and watched everybody work gathering firewood. We'd be getting firewood together for the night, for the next 2 nights, rather, sorry. And he just sat there on a rock like a fat lump of fatness. And he was just sitting there all fat and shit. And I'm like, so, and then I look and I see, like, chicks dragging logs behind him. And he's just sitting there on the rock watching. So, of course, I said something to him. Right? I said something to him. I'm like, listen, man. I said, you got to do something. I said, you got to pick up a twig or anything. I said, but you got chicks out here outworking you. I said, the whole part of this is to get it going. So, anyway, with that being said, he got up off the rock. He actually picked up a twig or two. All right. So, he wound up leaving the group because he said, and I quote, I was militaristic. Militaristic. And I was just like, I was just telling him, stop being lazy. And with that, he said that, he, yeah, like a blob. I mean, like, yo, he was lazy. So he started his own group. I don't know if they're still around or not, but he was just like militaristic and this, that. And I'm like, yo, I said, what do you think it's going to be like when the shit is on? For the first few months of a mag or whatever prepper group you're in gets together, you guys are going to be working hard. You guys could have everything set in motion. You're still going to be working hard until everybody gets their footing in that group. Everybody gets what it's like to work hard. And the problem is, guys, that a lot of us do not know what hard work looks like anymore because we are all comfortable in what we do. Now, granted, if you bang nails, right, if you do construction, if you're a contractor of some kind, you know what hard work is. That's the kind of shit you got to do every day. If you're a prepper group or mag and you have like a farm or land that you have to farm, that's work every day. People don't understand that. So a lot of these prepper groups that think they're going to strive are going to fail miserably because they're lazy fat fucks. So anyway, this guy just a blob, of a man. Like, he got married too. I'm like, who the fuck would marry Mr. Fat? I've never seen such a thing. I mean, this guy was so just ginormously, and he was lazy. Yo, you can't be fat and lazy, man. You can't. There's one or the other. You can't be both. You could be fat and work, or you could be lazy but not fat. I don't know how that works, but you get my point. All right, your mama said quantum computing requires, he named a bunch of metals I can't even name. There are many elements needed for quantum computing. All right, I thought lithium was one of them, but apparently not. There's a couple of other things, and even diamonds. And there's plenty of diamonds out there, that's for sure. He said, poor rock. Yo, there's somebody for everybody. Cobalt, I guess. But yo, seriously. And this was like 10 years ago, whatever it was, too. That's the crazy shit about it. Like I said, when he started a group, he just like, whatever. People thought I was being hard in a group. And I'm like, what do you think it's going to be when the shit is on? You think it's going to be this comfortable? You think it's going to be this lavish? You're going to fail once the system fails. And you know what? That's okay. Because those people that fail, those community that fail, guess what? Those are people we don't have to contend with, and those people are going to collapse miserably. And they're probably going to realize it and maybe try to latch on to another group to make it. And that's not going to happen. Right? I'm sorry. A lot of people, like, I start a group, it's going to be really tight. It's going to be small and tight. It's not going to be this, we're not going to be this kumbaya group. We're not going to be like, oh my God, let's take everybody in, the transgenders and the homos and the tiny hats. No. The sand people, well, everyone's welcome here. No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm going to give you a bunch of fucking tests that you're going to have to fucking pass to be a part of this group. And if you can't, and I'll take everybody in as long as you can pass that test. And as long as you don't bring in your stupid ideology in there. And that's how I would run the group. We're not going to sit here and send me an invite email. We're not going to sit here and be the all is welcome here. Fuck you, dude. Absolutely not. Psych patients, no. Scam artists, nope. People that are trying to push their religion, absolutely not. You guys are on your own. Go start your little stupid community somewhere else. You're not getting into this one. And I'm talking about when people think that they're going to come in by force, they're not going to like it, man. Like, not even a little bit. Of course, you're going to have, like, yes, test people. Yeah, listen, everybody's going to get tested. And even when they're in the group, they're going to be tested. Like, for a year. I'm like, there's going to be certain tests and certain things that are going to be done. If they don't pass it, you're fucking out. I'm not going to give you a pep talk and be like, listen, man, you gotta put your heart into this. We're one family. Fuck that shit. Get out. You fucking passed it. You failed to touch your arm. You're gone. Kick rocks. No drunks, no potheads. Absolutely no potheads. Listen, like, if you're going to drink. You get drunk and you become a liability, you're gone. You smoke pot, you become a liability, you're gone. If you can smoke pot and keep it together, whatever. Someone's asking, no fake preppers. Maverick, it's a little more than fake preppers. It's people who need to actually do the damn do. Like, it would almost be like a mini Hell Week. Yeah. Yeah, I'm on to Ernie and his bullshit. I mean, like, I don't pay him any attention. That's why he's one of those people that's lashing out for attention. Look at me, read me. I like me. I need friends. No, you don't. Guys like Ernie, you're out. Like, yo, that's it. That's the bottom line. None of these people are gonna come in and try to give me cash or vagina to get into the group. As soon as you offer me cash or vagina to get into the group, you're gone. Gone. Out of here. Get away from my door. Strict rules. Because, again, over my years of watching the tomfoolery go on with these groups and these people is insane. Angry, have them do a fitness test. That wouldn't be a bad idea, Larry. But a fitness test, though, would put them in certain groups, right? A fitness test would be like, all right, you guys are like my security team because you've passed this fitness test. If you pass this fitness test, we couldn't lift this, you're the foraging group. You go out there and you forage for food and hunt. Like that's how the fitness test would work. It would break people up into separate groups. If you can't even walk, but you're good with your hands, all right, then you're the mechanic. You can fix shit, But as long as you're willing to put in that work, as soon as you give the group shit, you're gone. Beat it, But I built you a home. Kick rocks. I'm telling you. And I would have a group of people as well that would also help me make decisions. I wouldn't make it all on my own. I don't want to be a tyrant either, Luna, waterboarding's on the table. That's absolutely on the table. But yeah. What about SNAP recipients in or out? Salty Dog, I don't know. Again, I would have to have a group of people. Like, I couldn't just do this by myself, right? I would have to have other people like Hudson Valley, fucking Prepper Revelator, Sarita. I would have to have a group of people who think like me, but also can think opposite of me, that have the ability to do that. And then, so that if I'm wrong about some shit, they'll call me out and be like, no, you're wrong. This is why. That's the kind of people you need. You don't need someone who's always pushing against you, but you need someone who has the ability to push against you when need be. Right? So, Mike Gonzalez, are you moving out of New York City yet? Nope, not yet. I got a couple more years and I'm gone. What's that, like 4-hand Chinese? Only massage I like is 4 hands Chinese. I don't even know what the hell that means. But, yeah, that's the kind of, that's the kind of group I would like to run. I don't want to be the guy sitting on my chair at the top of the hill, fucking screaming at people, telling them this, that, and the third. But hipsters and spam are not allowed, snafu. You bring spam, you're fucking gone. You come with your little hipster hat, gone. You talk about fucking how much you love the view, out of here. Everybody's gone. Miko, I'm not with his group, but I've gone down there, and which reminds me, I have to fucking go down there. I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks. I just gotta fucking get my shekels together so I can, drive down there. Do you really have years? I have at least a year or two. No, I have at least 2 years. Excuse me. Move to Youngstown, Ohio. You'll hate it. Yeah, I know about Youngstown. I knew 2 cops who worked out of it. They got to be retired. Yeah, Ernie, listen, it's all a joke, man. And people break balls on here all the time, and I appreciate that. I really do. I don't, and the firehouse, we break balls. When I was at school, the 80s kids, we broke balls all the time, so we can take it. Let another group of people break balls now, oh my God. This shit. No man balls and upper ones. One-uppers? I don't know what one-uppers are, but yeah, no man buns allowed. Would you allow Wall Street finance guys in your group? Ed Lee, probably not. Probably not. Probably not. Because anybody because I know, for example, yeah, Salty Dog, exactly. They will absolutely swindle the shit out of a lot of things. I've seen them do it firsthand in neighborhoods. I've seen them destroy neighborhoods, in fact. Will you invite CP? Yeah, right. But yeah, man, it's all fucked up right now. You know who's a lot of my group? Mobutu. I go to Africa and find them and bring them back. Mobutu, come here. All right, guys. So, wow, I didn't realize we got this far in. So let's talk about what we were here to talk about originally. Sorry. Preparing for financial collapse and how bad will it get? Now, we're going to get into how bad it will get in a little bit. But basically, an injection of $125 billion it was pretty much to keep the financial system from collapsing. Or rather, it was keeping banks to run smoothly. That was why they injected $125 billion over the last 5 days, or right now over the last week. The Federal Reserve recently injected $125 billion into the U.S. banking system over the last 5 days, making it the largest liquidity move since 2020. This action has taken to ease funding stress as bank reserves reached the lowest level it has in 4 years, which was $2.8 trillion. Now, I do not know how much higher it was for it to be running comfortably, but apparently $2.8 trillion is low. So the banking reserves, the cash infusion comes as banking reserves drop to $2.8 trillion, the lowest level over the last 4 years. Now, I'm assuming that banking reserves has to be double that, maybe in the $5 trillion range. I don't know. Market reaction. Following this move, there was a 67% probability that the Federal Reserve will cut its interest rate in December. This is seen as a response to the tightening liquidity conditions in the banking sector. Stealth easing. Analysts describe this action as stealth easing, contrasting with the Fed's previously hawkish stance on inflation. The goal is to stabilize the banking system without triggering panic or aggressive lending. The triggering panic part is what they were more worried about than the aggressive lending. Aggressive lending, you could just turn that down. Banks normally do it to people like you and I, but when it gets bad, they'll even turn down lending from companies that they've been doing business for years with, right? So again, keep that in mind. If they were worried about triggering panic, a panic trigger can collapse, or rather put the economy into a recession, right? Because people are now pulling their money out of banks. This injection aims to ensure that banks have sufficient liquidity to operate smoothly, especially in light of recent financial pressures. I didn't even look up to see what the recent financial pressures were. And it might be what? The fact that we're giving our money out to other countries all over the world, and the fact that one of Trump's buddies donated, if you will, which wasn't a good thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't a good thing right now. He donated a few $1 million to pay off the military, the soldiers, right? Earlier this month, they were talking about soldiers were not going to get paid, and some, savior philanthropist came down out of the sky with his money and paid off the military. That is a bad idea. That means he bought a contract, or rather the United States gave him a contract that he paid by paying the military off. It looks like that he was paying the military off out of the kindness of his heart. Absolutely not. Millionaires and billionaires don't do shit out of the kindness of their hearts. Ever. It's never been said. It's never been recorded. So anyway, let's see. The market now prices a 67% chance that the Fed will cut the rate in December. This surge in liquidity support risk assessments like cryptocurrency, which historically benefits from easy money policies. However, some analysts caution that all liquidity boost translates to higher crypto prices, as the Fed's goal is short-term stability, not broad market stimulation. So a lot of people dump their money into cryptocurrency this week because of this move. So and again, people in the financial industry saw this move and put money into cryptocurrency. I did as well. I saw this, I read that, I was like, uh-oh, and so I put some money into cryptocurrency to see where it goes. Massive job layoffs can negatively impact the economy by reducing consumer spending, lending to slower economic growth, and putting downward pressure on wages. Now, the massive job layoffs is not in connection, but could be connected to this. right? So 135 million. Now, there's been massive job layoffs, as we all know. A lot of the things that we are seeing with job layoffs are are bad, and let me tell you why. Hold on. I just pulled up an interesting article on this. So as of October of 2025, in the month of October, I'm sorry, 135,000 jobs were reported to be layoffs, excuse me, marking the highest total for that month in over 20 years. This surge was attributed to factors such as, here we go, cost cutting measures and the impact of artificial intelligence on the workforce. Now, no crypto easy to steal. Michael Martin, it is. I don't plan to be in crypto for long. You gotta know when to dip and dive with cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is not one of those things. It can be one of those things that you can. It could be long term, but you have to read the market, and it's people tell me like which ones to go into. I'm no cryptocurrency expert at all, so people be like, "Yo, you got to get into this one." Jay, exactly. Jay Shelton, yes. Um, but anyway, so again, this was now another 135,000 jobs. Now, up until September, 98,000 jobs were layoffs for the year of 2025 up until about September, the 30th, if you will. October was another 135,000 jobs. Now, a job report came out saying, though, that there were over a million jobs that were laid off and fires. I think it will both layoff and firings. This is just layoffs. So that means there's a significantly higher amount of people that got fired from their jobs. Now, recent trend in October 2025, U.S. companies announced over 135,000 job cuts. Mark Black Sheep, thank you for the donation. U.S. company announced over 135 job cuts, marking the highest total for that month in over 20 years. Year to date, nearly 1.1 million jobs cut have been reported, the most since 2020 during COVID. Now, 1.1 million jobs. This is 2025. 2026 job prediction is supposedly going to be worse. Keep that in mind. If we are at 1.1 million job cuts in 2025, and the prediction that 2026 is going to be worse, how bad is that going to look? Is that going to be 2 million jobs? Or is it going to be 3 million jobs? Nonetheless, now, guys, you got 1.1 million people back into the arena of 7.1 million jobs. Now, a lot of these people are working people. They're probably going to find work. They're probably going to find work within that 7 million jobs right away. We'll find out. We'll see. But someone also said a lot of those jobs might be ghost jobs as well. Yeah, Maverick, I wasn't talking about you not being in the group. I'm just saying, whatever. I'm not getting into it. 5 years till dystopia. Hudson Valley. Yeah, man. I don't know. Who knows at this point how far it's going to be? Contributing factors to the job loss. Hang on to the bullshit because the bullshit's about to get like really thick. It's about to get really thick right now. All right, contributing factor. The rise in job cuts is attributed to several factors. Adoption of artificial intelligence leading to reconstruction of the business. Here's the other thing that dawned on me. A lot of companies use AI to restructure their jobs, their business, their company. And so they'll use AI and they'll ask AI, how can I, and I'm being simplistic in what I'm going to say, but how can I make more money and make my job more efficient with less employees? And then AI will push out a whole ton of shit you need to do. You can do that with Chat GPT, for example. But that's pretty much where they're going. On the immediate horizon, you're going to lose your ass. There will be a mandatory recurrency. I guess so, Jim. All right, so softening consumer and corporate spending and increased operational costs prompting hiring freeze. A lot of it is AI. And the thing is, AI restructured their job for them, and then this is the excuses they use. Now, Amazon came right out and said why they're firing or letting go 30,000 people. They didn't even mince their words. They weren't like, well, because and how comes and, dandelions and roses. They didn't say any of that shit. They said AI. That's the reason why they got rid of 30,000 employees. Anyway, sector-specific insight. Job losses were particularly noted in leisure and hospitality. Significant losses indicated potential trouble in this sector. In the hospitality and leisure sector. I guess that's hotels and shit. Professional and business services experienced notable job cuts, and government jobs continued reduction with a total loss of 97,000 federal employees since January of 2025. The economic context, unemployment rate was reported at 4.3 in August of 2025 with minimal job growth of 22,000 jobs per month. The labor market has shown signs of softening with average job growth slowing to 29,000 over the last 3 months. Future outlook. Ongoing federal government shutdown has delayed the release of official job reports, leaving private data and primary source for current labor market insights. Now, listen, the future outlook of jobs, they're going to see more. Now, before the government shutdown, they were talking about 2026 being a little worse. So, what they're trying to do is they're hemming and hawing and dragging their feet about how bad this is going to do. Look. Economics are closely monitoring these trends as they may signal broader economic changes ahead. Monitoring these trends. The trends are AI. AI is the trend. But that's interesting. Get the hell out of New York. Yeah, listen, I'm going to get out of somewhere. Like I said, another couple of years to go. 2, I hit 50, and then I get to look at my numbers. I'm actually going to look at my numbers in January. Or maybe I'll do it this week, just to see what they say. But I know you could talk to somebody at the pension board, and they'll tell me exactly what I need to do. AI is a sinking ship. Good BS reason replacing jobs with AI. Listen, man, they're going to do it one way or the other. But yeah, someone just said there was a ghost behind you. Could be, man. Could be. I don't know. I'm not interested in looking back at it. Like, oh, was there a ghost behind me? But yeah. Anyway, we shall see. Make a no comps plan with your family now. I've been talking about that for a while, but the no comps plan, like you have to have a plan, guys, that's going to, like Hudson Valley said, work with no comps, meaning you guys have to meet at a certain area at a certain time. If you don't have the wherewithal to communicate with one another, if you're not working around with your phones or the phone's shut down, you don't have fucking radios on you, yeah, I don't know. You got a smartphone, you got AI, you got a smartphone, you're being tracked. Well, Michael, the new iPhones have AI on them. This one doesn't. The Watchman. So he's not. Mamdani's not Jewish. Mamdani was in a temple or synagogue, if you will, with the little tiny hat on, and people were like, "Really?" Whenever you go into their temples for whatever reason, you gotta put their little bullshit, tiny hat on. So I don't know. It's the only religion in the world that you need to do that. right? If I'm not mistaken, in one of the only religions. Like a Jew can work into a regular church. They don't make you put a cross on, you know, or anybody for that matter. Catch up with the headlines. Mamdani may be Jewish. If he is, that'd be interesting. If you see ghosts, stay away from me. Yeah, whatever. Um, yeah, I'll definitely look into that. That would be interesting if he was. But tonight, guys, tonight on the Angry Truth channel in a couple minutes, we're going to talk about, are we gearing up for war or are we gearing up for profit? All of these moves that are being made with Venezuela, all of these moves that are being made with African nations or countries, if you will, trying to be humanitarian, it's not. Nothing is ever humanitarian. Gregorio, thank you for the 3-minute warning. Appreciate it. But yeah, man. Cell towers are getting updated weekly in Nevada deserts. Are they? It's interesting. Bass Bunny. Yeah, the profits won't be for us. It'll be for them. It'll be all for them. And then I'll tell you why in the Angry Truth, why it's going to be for them. Because it has nothing. Listen, it's never for us. They say Mamdani's mother and grandmother are Jewish. Really? Who the hell is Art Bell? Amphir said Art Bell passed away years ago. Art Bell recently had a Shadow Man encounter and he was terrified. Art Bell passed away years ago. Okay, I don't know who that is. I have no clue who that is. But humanitarian like Oprah. Yes, exactly, Betty, like Oprah. Yeah, remember she was like, I'm saving this little Negro kids from themselves. And then Boko Haram came in and took them all. And like, if you were going to do a humanitarian mission, that was the one. That was the one, for a humanitarian mission. Not now, Art Bell was a legend. I'll look into him. Miko, I did see the Jewish leader ones. My skydive, thank you for the heads up. I did see that. I saw that. Salute Art Bell. A lot of people like Art Bell. Never heard of this man. Okay, that sounds a little familiar now. Paranormal radio DJ from the 90s. All right. I didn't know his name, though. I'm pretty sure if I see a picture of him, I'm like, oh, that guy. Listen, I can remember faces. I can't remember names to save my life. I really can't. But his Shadow Man encounter was when he was 70. Listen, guys, I suspect we're going to start seeing a lot more of that kind of shit. Will you be putting a building on Prepper Nurse One's acreage? I don't know. Like I said, I'm going down there. I'm looking next month. I'm picking the coldest month to go down there. But I'm going to look to go down there next month and, tool around and shit. See what could be done. I mean, listen, I'd rather my own land, Because, again, guys, the problem with going on somebody else's land is you got to follow their rules. And I am not a rule follower. I am like a fucking, I skirt the system. I'm still cavalier in a lot of my ways. I need my own land. I can't, be on somebody else's land. Fun fact, they had a shrine to Art Bell. No kidding. I'm going to look up this guy now. No kidding. Also, guys, do me a favor. Hit the thumbs up, right? Or the thumbs down. Whatever the hell floats your boat. I don't care. Just helps with the algorithm. The comments in the comment section help with the algorithm. And the thumbs up and the thumbs down help with the algorithm as well. I lived in Vegas for years. He lived over the hump in Pathram. I don't know what that is. I have no clue what that is. All right. Anyway, with that being said, guys, I'm going to go off the air now. Thank you for joining me tonight. I know what Shadow Man is. And I'm never looking forward to seeing any. I've had my encounters with certain things. But, yeah, there's an art to it, if you will. Anyway, I will talk to a lot of you guys. I will talk to a lot of you guys in the Angry Truth channel in a couple of minutes, and I'll talk to the rest of you guys next Tuesday for my doubleheader then. Other than that, guys, have a good weekend. See the rest of you guys next Tuesday. And yeah, man, see some of you guys later.